Hi guys, Danimal Cannon here. I wanted to tell you about a really interesting pedal I bought from Japan. It's called the Miku Stomp from Korg. I had to import it because it's not available in the United States and Canada. This pedal is really something special. It turns your guitar signal into a Japanese Vocaloid named Hatsune Miku. If you think Hatsune Miku is just some obscure Japanese thing, you're wrong. She recently toured the US opening up for Lady Gaga and also appeared recently on the David Letterman show. She's also the spokesperson for Domino's Pizza in Japan. She's actually a hologram and a Vocaloid. And what a Vocaloid is, it's a software synthesizer that emulates the sound of a human voice. I'm very much a geek about Japanese culture, but I'm not that hardcore about it. I'm actually more of a software synthesizer geek. And the idea of emulating vocals is the most ridiculous, over-the-top idea I've ever heard of. And I love it. We've learned to recreate drums and even full orchestras. And now I don't even need a vocalist thanks to Vocaloid. I'm a pretty poor singer myself, so the idea of emulating vocals and putting it on a recording is pretty provocative to me. But Vocaloid still sounds pretty fake, but it has its own charm, I think. This pedal takes my guitar signal, analyzes the pitch, and then translates it into Hatsune Miku's voice. The knob on the top allows me to select from different phonemes, or different vocal sounds. The ones like scat, oo, la, ah, pa, nyan are pretty much useless. I don't know why they're there. When you select a single sound and play it over and over again, it really just sounds like a keyboard patch. And I think the idea is you want to sound more like a human voice. A few of them, like scat, pa, nyan, don't even sustain. They're just a one-hit sample. The settings that are useful are random 1 and 2 and phrases 1, 2, and 3. One really interesting thing about this pedal is there's a companion iPhone app called Lyrics for Miku Stomp. I had to create a Japanese iTunes account in order to download it, and it was actually a little complicated. But it allows you to program phrases and then upload it into your pedal. You're supposed to play it through your guitar pickups. I found that just plugging the headphone out into my pedal worked just fine. Now, the idea of playing the lyrics to an entire song is ridiculous. You would have to hit every single hit perfectly in order to have it stay on the right lyric. So I'm not so much concerned on the actual words that it's saying, just that it sounds like a human voice. And the fact that it's speaking another language actually helps with the illusion. I'm going to tell you what I don't like about this pedal first. Overall, this pedal is really a novelty toy. It's not something that's meant to be used in any sort of professional setting, although you can argue what that's supposed to mean. The biggest flaw on this is there's no volume knob. The output on the pedal, you have no way of controlling the volume of it. You end up having to design your entire rig around the volume that this pedal is outputting so that it fits along with your other guitar sounds. The other big problem, and this is to be expected, is there is latency. This doesn't operate via MIDI, it's actually analyzing the waveform of your guitar signal. If you play a note cleanly, the latency is not that bad. You can play a little bit ahead of the beat in order to compensate. But if you don't play very cleanly, the latency is enough where it sounds bad. You very much have to play to the pedal. It has a lot of drawbacks and you can't play that fast. But then again, if you played things really fast, it wouldn't really sound like human vocals anyways. The oo phoneme is much more quiet than the other phonemes. So let's say you're playing and you're going for a big powerful note at the end and it does the oo phoneme. It sounds very anticlimactic. To compensate for this, I actually created a custom phrase that just repeats the word konnichiwa over and over again. It doesn't contain the oo phoneme, and that way it never comes up. The other really odd thing about this pedal is it came with documentation saying you cannot use it on a recording. When you're using this pedal, you're not just using a synthesizer, you're actually using a trademarked character. And so it really goes into some murky legal ground, but technically, I can't use this on a recording, although I have a feeling I could get away with it if I didn't tell anybody. The things I do like about this pedal is that it responds incredibly well to vibrato and bends. This allows this pedal to be surprisingly expressive. In fact, it's probably easier to have a more expressive vocal performance than programming in a Vocaloid on a piano roll like you traditionally would. The other thing that's really great about this pedal is it's a real head turner. When I break this out at shows, people have never heard anything like it. I happen to perform at a lot of nerdy events, and so a large portion of my audience already knows who Hatsune Miku is. But even people who've never heard of her have never heard a guitar sound quite like that. And so it definitely is a novelty, but at the end of the day, I'm an entertainer putting on a show. And so anything that can make my show stand out or be more memorable is definitely a good thing. And this pedal definitely helps you stand out. One really fun thing you can do with this pedal, you can use a beer bottle as a slide. It allows you to play non-chromatically, and it really sounds like a human voice when you do that. In fact, it's kind of scary. So the Miku Stomp from Korg, it's very much a toy. It's a novelty, but I've definitely found my own use for it, and maybe you will too.